What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Geek Boutique podcast. That's right. We are back. This is your favorite geeky podcast for Thursday, February 8th, where it feels like it should be the coldest part of the winter, and it's like 3 degrees outside. I don't get it. We are back this week with another top 10. That's right. Like we were saying during the pre-show. We're going to try to do more of these top 10s. I think we're going to try to keep them regular this year and do top 10s every 5 to 6 weeks or so. People seem to like it, so we're going to keep doing them. This week, obviously, is top 10 movie gadgets. But before we do get into that, guys, if you are new to this and you're new to us, please click the like button. It really, really helps us out. The subscribe button is also completely free. So, it'll, and if you click the little notification bell, it'll also let you know every time we go live or we upload a video. Guys, this week, as always, my co-host, Messiah Complex Cosplayer, as we know him around here, Aka. How you doing, bud?
What are you doing in my swamp? I'm good. I'm doing good. Yeah, we had a lively. If you didn't join us on Instagram for the Instagram Live, we had a lively discussion about how dog shit avocados are, but apparently some people like them. So that is not the topic for today's discussion, though. As JS mentioned, we are going to be talking about our top 10 movie gadgets, by the way, because I came up with a whole bunch of TV gadgets, and unless they appeared in a movie, we're not going to use them. We were pretty specific on this one, so. Who else is with us today, JS?
We haven't even started, and Jamie's already friggin' throwing knives here. I'm here to see how many times JS has told he's wrong. Thanks, Jamie. Appreciate the support there. Roberto, the bad guy. Back on the podcast. How you doing, buddy?
I am doing fantastic.
Hey, you've been hard at work. Because you sure haven't been hardly working, because holy cow. I mean, you also have been having quite the hectic schedule lately. And in the middle of that, you've also been building. Does anybody know what you've been building? Have you been posting anything at all?
Not really. I'm sure people can put it together. I posted one picture from the video I sent you.
Oh, yeah. So the stilts. You posted the stilts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Roberto over here has been hard at work building stilts.
Building a set of stilts.
And, you should know what that means.
I'm going to hurt myself.
The old men are going to end up in the hospital.
Twisted ankles are going to happen. I feel like you should be. There we go. That's better.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting, but keep your eyes out, guys. Hoping this guy starts posting more stuff soon, because it's going to be pretty dope.
Mike Myers has got a pretty good. I don't think avocados are a great movie gadget. I agree.
No, I don't think they are either.
Way to keep us on target.
Yeah.
Meghan, interesting. This was a hot topic in the pre-chat before we got on here. In fact, we actually have a thread on Instagram that we were text chatting as well. This was also a hot topic there too.
Mm-hmm.
It is up for debate. And I see someone's already trying to nail us down on criteria. You guys know we don't like criteria. We just make the shit up as we go. So what are the judgment criteria for this? Well, it has to have been in a movie.
Sorry, put that back up.
We have to agree that it's a gadget.
Yeah. So is it power, usefulness, creativity, pop culture popularity, impact? Andrew, the answer is yes.
And more.
Yes.
And where we feel that it should go on the list.
Yes.
I think the key with a gadget, though, is there's got to be some type of a mechanical style component to it to make it a gadget. For example, Thor's hammer. I don't consider Thor's hammer a gadget. It's a magical artifact. It's a solid. It just does that thing. I don't consider that a gadget. Whereas, as Meghan said, Iron Man's suit, I consider to be a gadget because it's actually built by somebody. It's a mechanical thing. Like, name a non-mechanical gadget that you think should be on the list. That's not like like she said, invisibility cloak from Harry Potter. I agree. I don't think that's a gadget because it's not. It's more like an artifact. It's not really a.
That's interesting because I actually have that on my list.
Well, I know it came up in ChatGPT and it comes up on a lot of the top 10 lists of movie gadgets. But I mean, honestly, is that really a gadget? It's a magic item. To me, that doesn't seem like it's a gadget, right?
Well, okay, so maybe we should.
Is Mjolnir a gadget?
Our friend Christina did us the favor right when I made the post to post the definition of a gadget right on our Instagram posts. The definition is a small mechanical or electronic device or tool, especially an ingenious or novel one. For example, state-of-the-art kitchen with every conceivable gadget. So
That's not an example of a gadget, but
no, it's not an example of a gadget. It's an example of the explanation. Whatever, you understand what I'm saying.
So Christina, shouldn't it be something mechanical or made? Megan saying Jonathan, which is by the way what Paul Rudd calls Mjolnir, is not a gadget. Yeah, I wouldn't think it would be. I think there's going to be some that kind of like we're worried about, like finding a line between, because we universally agreed the DeLorean time machine is not a gadget, it's a vehicle, whereas maybe the flux capacitor that makes time travel possible is the gadget. But would it be a top 10 movie gadget? I don't know. So
yeah,
that's
I agree with that.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that if we open the door to vehicles, it then what's not a gadget?
Yeah, then
right.
Yeah,
then the Millennium Falcon and should make the list. The X-wings should make the list.
Yeah,
the Knight Rider should make the list.
Exactly.
Matter of fact, I think we found the next top 10.
Yeah. That's on my list.
Top 10 vehicles.
That's on my list as well.
Cool. Right.
Yeah.
Lightsaber gadget. I agree.
Yeah. Jarvis from Iron Man. Okay. So.
Okay. There's. Yeah.
And maybe that's where we should just get started, right? And then let's talk about Iron Man right away. For me, Iron Man is not a gadget because the gadget makes the character. Right? It's not like a character is using a specific gadget to get something done. The character is the gadget, right?
This guy busts ghosts.
Yeah.
That's
so Alan, we're gonna get to that
worry,
one as
Alan.
well. Yeah.
That guy busts ghosts for sure.
Oh, before we also go any further, I do want to mention, and I did say this in the pre-show, so in case the people listening here on your favorite podcast platform, we are going to try to keep this to one gadget per franchise. Now, I'm not hard on that. I mean, if there are certain gadgets that we decide that, you know what, these two gadgets are so impactful, maybe we can make an exception, but I would like to keep it to one per franchise, one per IP, because otherwise we're going to be here all night. And I don't want to have a list full of Star Wars stuff or a list full of James Bond stuff, or you know what I mean, right? So
yeah, see, Jarvis and Skynet, I would say those are both just AIs. I don't think those are. I wouldn't classify those as gadgets. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
So that's where I think the discussion was with Iron Man. Is Jarvis a gadget? I don't know. Again, you're right. It's more of an AI, but is Iron Man?
I would suggest the Iron Man suit is way more of a gadget. That's literally something that dude built in his fucking garage. Like, how much more?
I agree, but I don't think of the Iron Man suit without Jarvis. Or Thursday or whatever, Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, it's Friday now.
So I put those two and two things together. Like the Iron Man suit has the AI in it.
It has the AI built into it. Yeah. Yep, I get that. I just figure anything that some dude can build in his garage, it'd be like you 3D printing something and saying that's not a gadget. Like, I don't know that would be the case. I would think that would be a gadget. You fucking made it. Like, doesn't that kind of make it a gadget a little bit? It's not like some priest blessed it and now it's a magic item. It's like a thing you made. That should be. Anyways. We should actually start maybe by someone making an actual list, and someone should go first and they should suggest their gadget and then we can debate, because otherwise we're going to do this for 20 minutes.
But that's what I'm saying. This is the first one we're debating, right?
Oh, we are debating Iron Man?
Yes, this is the first one. Is it even a gadget? Do we put that on the list?
I mean, I vote gadget, obviously, but
it's on every list. When you Google gadget list, it's on every list.
Well, of course.
For me, I don't consider him a gadget, but you know, again, I'm just gonna get overruled here all night anyway. So,
it's
his first suit in the cave is a gadget.
I am an acquaintance at best. Come on now, man. Rob tolerates me. He loves you.
All right, so
that's kind of my point.
Okay,
yeah, made from a box of scraps.
Natasha,
kind of what I'm saying. Like,
yeah.
Well, hang on. Where is it? I lost it now.
I know you guys are talking.
He just made a better
on this briefcase suit, but I mean, he made that suit the same way he made all the other suits he made. So I don't know why you guys think the briefcase suit is a gadget, but the other 37 suits he made are not gadgets. That makes zero sense.
Yeah, for me, the briefcase makes it the gadget because it becomes a portable. It's a portable suit, right?
What did we talk about on our Trek gadgets? All of the things that we agreed were Trek gadgets are a long ass way from portable. So
I know they're a long ass way from portable.
Well, portability is not.
You're asking me what makes it a gadget.
For God's sakes. Yes, Tony Stark made this, from a box of scraps. Dude, I don't know how you can think that something that dude made with his hands in a cave is.
We're gonna add Iron Man to the list, but whether he actually makes the top 10,
Yeah, whether it stays there or
No,
not.
no,
whether
no,
it stays
hold
or
on.
not.
No. Iron Man's armor, not Iron Man. Iron Man's armor. The armor is the gadget. Iron Man, the character, is obviously not a gadget. I know you guys are talking about the arc reactor, and I would acquiesce to the arc reactor because he did make that first technically, and that's what powers the suit. But is the arc reactor really the gadget, or is it just the battery that runs the gadget?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the battery that runs the gadget.
Yeah.
Yeah. So where's the list? Are you gonna put the list up on the screen, or are you just gonna fill it?
Well, there's only one on the list right now, and it's Iron Man's
that's
armor.
right.
So we'll bring it up periodically when we're not arguing here,
Sure.
or when I don't zoom into your hat, trying to hide your hair because you don't want this to turn into a hair conversation.
It's there somewhere. It's under there somewhere. My hair's fine. I wanted to wear my hat. Leave me alone.
All right, who wants to start?
Well, we did start. We did Iron Man. Rob,
Well,
what give us a
next?
gadget, man? Get us out of this fucking
Okay,
cesspool.
we'll completely leave this and go to the neuralizer from Men in Black.
Yes.
Fuck yes.
Yes.
See, it doesn't get any more gadget than a standard issue neuralizer. Come on.
Yeah.
Such a
And
gadget.
I mean, the whole premise of that movie was basically built around that one gadget, right? Like it's yeah.
And it has persisted throughout multiple sequels throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that everybody instantly recognizes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a pretty easy one. I took the easy route.
No,
Yeah, no,
dude,
that was a good one.
though.
Yeah, that was a
After
good
the
one.
20-minute Iron Man debate.
Yeah, we had to
winner,
get something
right?
else on the list. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Let me-
To me, that one's a no-brainer. Like you can't.
all right, now the real discussion starts.
Above or below Iron Man?
Yeah.
Iron Man's gonna be a tough out. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's a tough one. I would probably suggest it's below.
And okay.
Yeah,
Why would it be below?
There's a host of different reasons. I think probably the biggest reason for me would be that it's well, one, it's not as cool. Two, I mean, I love the Men in Black franchise, but it's not anywhere near as big as the MCU.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Iron Man suit is what made the MCU what it was, and for 10 years we got
Mhm.
23 movies that were the best thing that we'd ever seen, and most of it was centered around the suit,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
So I don't know. I mean, it's not my suggestion. I don't have to make a case. What do you think? Do you think it should be the neuralizer, Rob, above Iron Man's armor?
I'm gonna say no. I think Iron Man's armor should remain at number one, but the neuralizer feels more like a gadget, right? Like it's clear cut. That's a gadget.
It's more gadgety.
It's more
100% it is.
gadgety.
Yes, I would agree with
From
that.
that perspective.
Yep.
It gets.
That's
my
a
point
very
in that
that's
it's a gadget
very-
category.
Yeah. But
yeah.
then are we basing is that what the top 10 list is based on how gadgety the gadget is, or is it more
We're kind of making it up as we go along, right?
the popular? Well, every other top 10 list we've done, it's been like recognizability, cultural impact, like blah blah blah.
I think that all has to be a part of it for sure.
For sure.
It is the more gadgety gadget. There's no
note-
question it's the more gadgety
Note that I
gadget.
still put it below Iron Man.
Yes. Yeah.
But it is the more gadgety gadget.
Nope, agrees. I
Okay,
agree.
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
JS.
You want me to go next?
Sure, why not? We're just free balling here.
I'm wondering how far up my list I should go.
How big is your list?
Very big.
That's what she said.
I'm going to start throwing out some oddball ones before I get to the top of my list. How's
Of course
that?
you will. Sure.
Why not? The Mission Impossible mask maker.
It's a very cool gadget.
With a machine where they can 3D scan a person's face and then they can just print out a mask in a suitcase. And then Ethan can put the mask on and boom, he becomes that person.
I think JB wants to weigh in.
Yeah.
Ew.
It is kind of a
what's up, Tanith?
I like Megan's idea, new shirt, gadgety gadget.
Yeah. What is the most gadgety gadget? I really do, by the way, think we should make the top 10 villains list on a shirt, because I would wear the shit out of that. And then just have like Rob's angry face on the back of the shirt.
Rob
Just
knocking at the door.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a trope, right? Like Zappit is saying Darkman did that face first. There have been numerous different movie franchises that have had it. So people would put on like a mask or something to impersonate somebody else. But I don't think anybody did it in quite the unique way that Mission Impossible did it. And made it that believable and that seamless and everything else. And it became such a central part of the entire franchise. Like they use it in every fucking Mission movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
and no one ever, by the way, and hardly anyone ever, like everyone gets duped by it. Like no one, whenever it's the twist, you're like, oh, he was wearing the face mask. Dudes are never like, am I sure this is the dude or is this a dude wearing this technology that we know exists?
Yeah, but they also get us a lot, right? And like even in the last one, actually, have you guys seen the current one that just came out?
I did. I really liked it. I was kind of disappointed with how it performed at the box office. I really enjoyed it.
It was really good, and the whole mask thing is a big part of the actual story, right? Where they show you right at the beginning of the movie about the mask, and then they're relying on the mask for the mission, and then the machine gets broken, and then they can't print the mask. So yeah, it's like it was good.
Total Recall, he's turned the mask into a bomb. 2 weeks. That's right.
I mean, they did. Right. Yeah.
Sonic screwdriver. There's going to be a discussion about the Sonic. Don't worry about that.
So I think it's fair to say that as cool as the Mission Impossible mask maker is, that's probably at the bottom of this list. What do you guys think?
I would agree.
Yeah, I would agree.
All righty. Jeffrey.
Now, do I go mainstream or do I pick a weird one like you picked a weird one?
Yeah, let's do a couple weird ones. I mean, we've got some time.
I will pick a weird one because we did talk about James Bond, and I feel like, I mean, James Bond is a movie literally about nothing but gadgets. But my favorite gadget in James Bond movies is the ejector seat. That's my absolute favorite
ejector-cito, cuz.
And it's one of those things where it's transcended James Bond. Like it's like I say ejector seat, everybody watching, everybody knows exactly what I'm talking about. It's an amazing gadget. It's usually just this stupid red button that you just hit, and that other seat just goes. Batman had him in the fucking Batmobile, for God's sake. So yeah, I do like the ejector seat. I get that it's going to be, date's bad, ejector seat. Bye. Jennifer's having a meltdown. Please, for the love of all that is godly, put a U in armor.
Okay, if we're going to do that,
there you go.
Take the I out of neuralizer, or the Y out of neuralizer. There's an I in there, I believe.
No, it's actually spelt with a Y, as far as I know. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're not going to get into that then.
All right, listen, if that's not how they actually spell it, then whatever. It doesn't really matter, guys. I mean, the people that are listening to this podcast can't tell what it says on the actual list. So
we've definitely found the grammar Nazi in the place. It's Jennifer Walter
has. Yeah, where do we put that? I mean, the ejector seat. I mean, you're right. I remember as a kid watching James Bond and, people shooting out of his car. You know what I mean? So
when I was trying to come up with Bond gadgets, I'm like, all these really cool Bond gadgets. I'm like, the funnest one is easily the ejector seat. And it's the one that I think has made the biggest impact across
every spy car trope has an ejector seat now. Yeah. I mean, it's,
I mean, for me, I would probably look at putting it at 3. I would probably put it above Mask Maker, but below the Neuralizer.
Yeah. Rob, are you good with that? I didn't agree with that.
I believe it's a deneuralizer. No, that was from Men in Black 2. That's what.
That was. Yes. No, that was 3.
Nope, it was 2.
Really?
K's barely in 3.
3 is the one where he's young. Josh Brolin plays K.
He goes back in time.
Yeah.
Predator nuclear bomb arm bracer. I don't know if that's the thing I would associate with a Predator personally.
Yeah, no, there's one I think that's much more Predator than the gauntlets. But yeah, again, guys, you guys have some good picks. We're gonna talk about a lot of these. We're gonna talk.
I'm glad you guys are in because my list was woefully short. I couldn't even get 10. So
really, okay. Well, here we go. So Ejecto-cito, and it is Roberto's turn.
Ejecto-cito.
Yeah, that's from Too Fast, Too Furious.
Is it really?
Yeah. So they put an ejector seat in what's his name's car.
Of course they do.
And the comedian guy, the funny guy. I always would think of it Kevin Hart. It's not Kevin Hart. It's
I don't know. I watched the first movie in that franchise and hated it.
Anyway, and yeah, he says that ejectocito, cuz as he hits the button and the bad guy goes flying out the roof, right?
Nice.
Ludicrous, isn't it?
Ludicrous. No, not Ludicrous. Sorry, it's the other one. It's always him and Ludacris together.
The shoe phone from Get Smart. That's a deep cut. I like it.
Yeah, that's on my list.
Yeah.
That's a deep cut, but I do like it.
Yeah, that is on my list. Rob, it's your turn.
My turn. Okay, I'm gonna go over to the Back to the Future franchise.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pick one from there.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna be the DeLorean. It's gonna be the hoverboard.
Yeah, that's what I have on my list as well. You know, when I was a kid, so there's a few movies when I was a kid that I watched over and over and over and over and over and over and over because I had it on videotape, and it was Back to the Future and Back to the Future Part 2. I loved those movies. I know them almost line for line. There was a story after Back to the Future 2 came out. The hoverboards were actually real, but they were banned because they were too dangerous, which was all bullshit, right? But it turned the hoverboard into this cultural thing that I think transcends the movie Back to the Future. When you talk about Back to the Future, especially Part 2, hoverboards is what comes to mind.
Yeah. And even now you talk about hoverboards and you don't have to think about Back to the Future. You might not even know that it was in Back to the Future, but people know what a hoverboard is.
Yeah, that's why you know what it is. Now, we did say one item per IP. So I just want to make sure you guys are clear on this. If we pick this, we don't get to pick anything else from Back to the Future. So
yeah, I mean, the only other one that I think could be close is the DeLorean time machine. But because we say we didn't want vehicles in this because then it opens the door up to too much.
Yeah, it would only be the flux capacitor. So if you guys think the hoverboard is a bigger impact than the flux capacitor, which I would agree with. I just want to make sure we're clear on this in case someone else like further on is like, oh, I want to say the flux capacitor. Like, well, we can't. We already have the hoverboard. So, by the way, not possible. Fantastic pick. Didn't even occur to me. Cerebro. That's awesome.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't even think of that either.
Very, very cool. Actually,
we need to talk about that one. Actually,
yeah, we might have to. But where do we put the hoverboard? I would also be tempted to put that above ejector seat and below neuralizer. It's not my pick, but that's where I think it should go.
Yeah,
above ejector seat.
I think so.
At number 3,
I'd almost
it either be that or below. It would either be that or below it. Yeah, I mean, I'd be good.
Yeah, I would put it below it because JS made a comment like you can't have a spy show with it or any kind of show without an ejector seat.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I do like
I'm eating my own words now.
I still think it's hilarious that Meg Hand's initial reaction to that was, how do I ditch my date as fast as possible? Oh, let me just hit this fucking ejector seat. I think that's very telling about Miss Meg Hand there. But anyways, I'm not gonna go into that. That's terrible. It's awful. Nice. This is going way fucking better than I thought it was going to go. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought this was going to be an absolute train wreck. We're doing good, guys. We're 23 minutes in. We can do this. Yeah.
You thought this was going to be a train wreck?
Of course I did. It's a.
Do you not listen to this show? What are you talking about?
I have no choice but to listen to the show. I'm fucking on it.
Let's see here. Whose turn is it now? It'd be my turn, right?
Sure.
Who just picked? Rob?
I did.
Yes.
It's your turn.
I guess it would be my turn. I'm going to go with another little bit of an obscure one. Well, maybe not obscure because somebody actually mentioned kind of something about it earlier, but the Predator active camouflage. Okay. Not the reaction I thought I was going to get.
Not the Predator thing I thought you were going to pick.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay.
Your cod piece. I mean the lasers.
Freaking lasers attached to their heads.
Lasers attached to their heads. Yeah, no, I don't. The lasers. I mean, they're just. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I feel like becoming invisible is more of a trait of the predators and who they are.
See,
and
I would have thought it was the mask, the
biomask.
Yeah.
I mean, the biomask, and that's fair. The biomask is.
It's such a signature, that infrared vision, the overall look of the predator.
And I can't. Yeah, I can't argue against that because I have myself said multiple times the biomask is what makes this costume.
100%.
Right? If you put anything, any other face on it, it doesn't work. But with that face on, it's instantly recognizable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll agree to change my mind on that one and go biomask. What do you think, Rob?
Yeah, I would say the biomask. How about the metal hook? Biomask, yeah. Now, where do we put that one?
I feel like that one's probably low on this list.
Probably.
I don't have an opinion on this because, of course, you two are a little bit closer to the franchise than I am. So,
yeah, but I mean,
if it's me on this list, it's probably everything's going to be above the mask maker, right? So it would probably put it above that and below hoverboard, but
yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
You good with that, buddy?
Yes, sir.
All right. It is, I believe, Mr. Acatern.
It's been mentioned a few times, so I'm going to get it out there now. I'm going to mention the sonic screwdriver. I'm only mentioning this, by the way, since I think we should probably have a discussion about it. Rob, I don't know if you're a Doctor Who guy or not, but
I'm Googling it right now.
I think we're kind of on the raggedy edge of what we consider a movie prop. I know they did a TV movie a couple of times, so as long as we're going to count that as a movie, then we could include the sonic screwdriver. If we're not counting those as movies, then we can't because it's strictly a TV device. So
yeah, I mean that's where I have sonic screwdriver on my list. Question mark.
Yeah,
specifically for that reason.
I've never heard of it until 5 minutes ago.
You kind of have to be a Whovian for sure to
yeah.
get it.
But it's his main gadget, right? It's his gadget that does everything, basically. It's his Swiss
It's
knife.
the signature. I mean, again, if we're not including vehicles, we can't call the TARDIS one. So it really does come down to the Sonic. But yeah, we have to decide is one in 60 years of television, is one made for TV movie? Does that even count?
Yeah, I don't feel like I would have to say no. As much as I love Doctor Who, for me, Doctor Who's a TV show. It's not. There's no Doctor Who movies.
I would agree.
So, unfortunately, that one's
That's
going to
totally
have
fair.
to.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Slap that one down.
Did you want to take another pick since we slapped that one down?
Sure. And I'll mix it up a little bit, and I'm going to try to get this in real quick. So we debated on the pre-show about Star Trek and which signature, because we can't say the Enterprise, because the Enterprise is really just a collection of gadgets moving through space. So what key, and to me, it's the transporter. I don't think there's anything
100%.
else in Trek. It's so signaturely Trek, invented in the 60s. It's been through every single movie. It's always being used. In fact, other shows that have come along have specifically said we're not going to use a transporter so we can differentiate ourselves from Star Trek. So I think it has to be the transporter. You could list a million different things: holodeck, replicator, phaser, photon torpedo. Like there's a whole bunch of things you could list, but I think it has.
A holodeck's another big one for sure.
Yeah. But I think I think it's kind of got to be the transporter. Because my grandmother has no idea what the fuck a holodeck is, but she absolutely knows what a transporter is. You know what I mean? Like she knows that 60s. I know that's the TV show. Don't get me wrong, but
beam me up,
appeared
Scotty.
in all the movies. It's been in every iteration of Trek. So transporter 100%, says Christina. I agree. Beam me up, Scotty. Yep. I think the transporter should be on the list. I think it should probably be at 3, maybe even 2.
Yeah, on this list, I'd be inclined to say 2 myself.
Yeah, I would say 2 as well.
Yeah, I mean Trek has been around for so long.
I think you could probably even make an argument for
impactful.
1. To be honest, I think you could probably even make an argument for 1.
Yeah, I mean,
I have a different number 1 in mind, but I'd be fine.
So
with
do
this being
I.
number 2.
But I don't think Iron Man would have even made my top 5. Actually, I technically didn't want him on the list because I don't consider that a gadget anyway.
I'm getting
but
some 3s, but that does feel a little. I think it's
no.
I think it's better than the neuralizer. Personally, I know the
100%.
neuralizer is the more gadgety gadget, but
I would agree that it belongs above the neuralizer.
They even have a specific officer they call a transporter chief, for God's sakes. Like they put one dude in charge of this thing. Like it's yeah.
So many stories were dependent on the transporter functioning. Transporters are down, Captain. No, guys, they're all stuck on the planet.
Like, there's some big fucking gadgets to come that are clearly going to supplant some of these anyways. Like I can think of 2 right off the top of my head.
Me too.
We haven't discussed yet. So
yeah. So where do you want to put this one? I'd be good at 1 or 2.
I'd be good at 2. Yeah, I'd be good at 2.
All right, 2.
I think it's going to be a hard sell getting it 1. Iron Man should be in a list with RoboCop and Inspector Gadget. Inspector Gadget, yes. RoboCop.
I wouldn't say RoboCop.
No.
I think the point here is they're not really gadgets, right? They would be in a list of their own, right?
Inspector Gadget, I think, would be more tied to gadgets than RoboCop. RoboCop, they grafted that shit on. That dude fucking died at work, and they made him come in the next day. Like that's how sad RoboCop is. Like, that's to me that transcends gadgetry. But
Andrew says the shark repellent from the Adam West movie. Yes. That's on a couple of lists as well. That I saw.
It's the bat shark repellent. Thank you very much.
The bat shark repellent. That's right. That's right. Yeah, no, that was pretty good. I guess it would be Rob's turn.
Roberto.
Yeah.
Oh, Roberto, you do have stuff.
I just gotta say, there's so many good ones coming up in the comments, especially from Not Possible, that I have to agree. I keep updating my list. So that's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Is Logan a gadget? He was technically mean. How do we kick Meghan out of the goddamn channel?
Is Logan a
Stop muddying the waters, woman.
No, doesn't count.
No, he was not technically made. He was enhanced. Enhance.
Well, I mean, that technically makes him made, but
does not, you boobs.
Yeah, Jesus. I mean,
Let's get back to the gadget category, and I'm gonna swing it over into something from the DC world, and I'm gonna go with the Batarang.
Yeah, bitches.
Now, here's where I'm gonna throw a bit of a wrench in your plan. Actually, you know what? Make your case first. Make your case first. Why the Batarang?
There's so many to pick from that. I wanted to open up the conversation here because it might not be where we land on the Batman franchise, but because you know what, I had a soft spot for there's all kinds of really cool ones, right? The grappling gun, Batarang, the belt holds all the gadgets. Like, which one do we pick?
Yeah,
is it a gadget? That's a good question. It might not be a gadget, but
the Batarang?
No, the Batarang. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
What? Absolutely,
but I think it's going to go on. I would say that. Let's go Batarang.
I think that especially the Arkham Knight games, they've made the Batarang into a gadget because the Batarang can do all sorts of things now, right? You have remote control Batarangs. You have this.
They did it way before that. They did it in Batman Returns, when the Red Triangle gang attacks him out in the middle of the street, and he literally takes a Batarang out, and it's got a little computer screen on it, and he programs it, and he throws it.
That's right. That's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
And then in the comics, there's been like a million different uses for a Batarang.
You're right.
So. Yeah.
To me, though, the gadget is the grappling hook. It's how he gets around, right? It's how he appears to fly. It's if there's one gadget from Batman '89 that everybody wants, what is it? It's the grappling gun, right?
Vicky Vale?
Well. Not a gadget, buddy. Not a gadget.
That depends on how you look at it. Yeah, my only issue with the grappling gun is like,
get us canceled, please.
It's hey, I didn't. I used the character's name. I didn't use the actress's name. Kim Basinger. It's the grappling gun to me feels so vanilla that like you could have a grappling gun tomorrow. Like it feels like anybody can have a grappling gun anytime. Not that doesn't mean it can't be on here, but it just feels like a very easily achievable thing.
Really? Because I don't see grappling guns in real life of every day.
Google not real life. I didn't say everyone had one in their fucking briefcase. I just mean you could probably go on Amazon right now. I bet you can find a grappling gun on Amazon right now.
You think so?
Probably. Grappling hook for sure. Oh, there's a money.
Everybody's Googling. Nice. Everybody's looking it up. Oh yeah.
Grappling hook. Rubber band slingshot. Well, I'm on the Canadian one. I bet you can find it on the American one.
Yeah, they have a launcher.
Shoots actual bullets.
I can almost guarantee you they have one.
Hook for climbing.
I'm not. By the way, I'm not shitting on. If you guys want to include that, I'm totally fine with that. It just feels very. It feels kind of, I don't know, vanilla. Confirmed you can, says Meghan. Yeah, is that the best DC has to offer? Popular mainstream DC? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, other than Batman gadgets, who else has gadgets?
Wonder Woman's lasso is a magical artifact. Yeah. Same with Aquaman's trident. The DC crew weren't heavily reliant on gadgets for the most part, right? So just Batman, literally. And that's his whole fucking shtick. And let's be fair, we have to kind of struggle with this because we all know it's the Batmobile, but we can't include vehicles. So it's got to be something other than that, right? Yeah.
Well, actually, for me, it was my first thought was, well, it's clearly the Batwing, but Batwing is also a vehicle, right? Like,
oh, green arrows, arrows. Okay, Keith. Yep, I see you.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Keith has trick arrows. Yep. Green arrow,
not bad. But I don't think they'd make any kind of a top 10 list of gadgets. Don't get me wrong, but. No, if we're doing it, come on. If we're talking DC for gadgets, it's fucking Batman, guy. Like, there's no way it's not Batman.
Natasha says Mr. Freeze gun. I mean, I also had that on my list just because, you know, I'm working on Mr. Freeze cosplay.
Yeah.
So I put that on my list. The freeze ray. Oh, sorry, the freeze ray I put on my list wasn't the Mr. Freeze gun. It was the freeze ray from Despicable Me.
Freeze ray.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's
so and Andre says the utility belt is the only other choice. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the utility belt holds all the gadgets. It in itself was, I mean, I say was never really portrayed as a gadget. I mean, it might have. I don't think it
feels like the ultimate gadget though, doesn't it? Because it didn't matter what he needed; it was always in the belt, right? Like it just felt like this almost it was almost like it was like hammer space almost. Like he needed something, so it was automatically just in his belt every time.
I don't think
the fart gun is the best from Despicable Me. Yeah, I do enjoy the fart gun.
Fair enough. I forgot about the fart gun. Yeah,
I do enjoy the fart gun.
So, what is Batman's
universal translator from Hitchhiker's Guide? That's not a gadget. That's a fish. I don't know, guys. This is really. I'm so glad you got this up, Rob. I'm really happy that this came up because this is. It has to be Batman, and give me the best gadget that Batman, like a bag of holding. Thank you, Andrew. That's what I was going for. Yes, like a bag of holding is what the utility belt is like. You guys have kind of convinced me. I would actually vote utility belt if it was me. And Rob is saying Batarang, and JS is saying the grappling hook. So we're fucked.
I don't know. When I Googled it, Batarang came up 3 and grappling hook 4. Grapple hook.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, when I used ChatGPT, it definitely said Batarang. So,
all right, fine. If the computer says it,
no. I'm ignoring half of what the computer said. Half the computer's picks were dog shit. But
okay, fine. So I think that depending on what we choose will change where it goes on this list. I think.
Right.
So Batarang, is that what we're saying?
Yeah.
Are we saying utility belt? Are we saying
no? I mean, Rob's pick is Batarang, so I think
I picked Batarang.
Okay, so Batarang it is.
2 for Batarang.
So where on our fantastic list does it go?
Well, therein lies the rub.
I feel like we need the Jeopardy music here.
Well, Rob, it is your pick. So if you have a spot where you think it should be,
between 3 and 4. No.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, between 3 and 4, I think. I could go 2 and 3 though.
I would. You think it's below the Neuralizer? Because I would probably put it above.
That's I would put it above maybe. Yeah.
Christina's saying 7. Are you drunk?
7.
What are you doing? Someone's a Marvel zombie over there. Meghan saying 3. Zappit saying 4. Megan Murray saying 4. Ice Voice saying 4. I think the mask counts as an artifact. Which
I would agree.
Oh, the mask.
Oh,
from
like the
The
mask
came
the
up.
mask?
Yeah, that's not a gadget. No.
It's
I would agree. Probably 4 as well. If but I'd be okay with 3 too.
What's more culturally significant over the years?
Well, the Batarang. I think so.
Neuralizer.
The Batarang.
Megan Murray with the Megan. We had. Are you late? We had the gadget argument earlier for sure.
Yeah.
Just because it's a more gadgety gadget does not necessarily mean it should be higher on the list. Yeah. I personally, I think I know it's Rob's pick, but I would think it'd go above the Neuralizer.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Because we're basically saying it represents all of the Batman, right?
Fair enough.
Really at this point, because that is all just kind of one big IP, right? So
and Andrew does say it's a more gadgety gadget too.
Gadget.
You're right. Jen has a good one that I didn't think about. The voice changer from the Scream series. I mean, again, what more identifiable to a movie series than the voice changer that oh fuck.
The only thing
I would say, Ghostface, thank you.
The only thing I would say about that, I would agree, it is a gadget. It's not an impressive gadget.
It's not.
It would be the only thing on the list here I can't run out to the dollar store and buy.
You can actually buy the
oh hell yeah, of course
the actual voice changer from the movie on Amazon,
and then a plethora of other ones too, right? So
yeah.
Same kind of argument with the grappling hook. It's a very achievable. I don't think necessarily like eliminate it. Don't get me wrong, but still.
Yeah, you couldn't remember his name. I say no.
I think it's one of these things. Like if you're a huge fan of that franchise, I think you're absolutely on board with this. If you're not, I think there's probably a shit ton of people out there that have no idea what the fuck you're talking about right now. So if you want to put on the list, I would put that even below the Mask Maker though. Like that wouldn't be.
Yeah, no, that's just gonna get bumped off. So let's not worry about it.
Okay,
Rob.
I just put Batarang on there. I think it's up to you next.
Oh, that was you. Okay, I'm gonna take a swing for the fences and go for a home run because I'm now gonna go right to my number 1 on my list. And my number 1 is the lightsaber.
You'll receive no arguments from me, sir.
I have a hard time seeing how any other gadget, any other prop from a movie has been more replicated, more wanted by fans, more culturally impactful. The lightsaber for me has to be number 1.
100%. Tell me when you were a kid and your mom was wrapping Christmas presents and she ran out and you had that fucking cardboard tube that you and your siblings, if you had them, just wailed on each other as lightsabers, making goofy ass lightsaber sounds with your mouths. That is 100% what you did. I know, because it's what I did. And we've talked about Star Wars and how transcendent it is and how generational it can be and how there's a Star Wars for everybody out there, and lightsabers factor into all of them, except that piece of shit Andor show. But everything else has lightsabers in it.
I'm just gonna write it down. Anybody have any arguments against that?
Not at all. Lightsaber is something that they had to make themselves, was it not?
It was.
Yes, they would build.
So, I mean, it's hard to say this isn't the most gadget thing there ever was.
You pick a design, you put a crystal in it, you build it, and then you kill motherfuckers with it. So, like, come on, man. We're doing weapons. How about blade sword with its own self-defense mechanism? Well, we're doing weapons if they're gadgets. I don't think blade sword is a gadget.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the lightsaber is a gadget because it's small, it's handheld, it's mechanical. They make them themselves. It's a weapon. It's a gadget weapon. Right?
Yeah.
And by the way, it's not just
other weapons on here.
Yeah, there are, but it's not just a weapon.
Right? Yeah, there you go. The battery
flashlight.
Yeah, it's a flashlight. It's a door opener. When people don't want, it can cut doors down too. That's what Zappa's saying. Yeah, that's all I'm saying, right?
Yeah, okay. Well, that's solved. Jeff, before people fall asleep, what's your next pick?
Before people fall asleep. All right. Well, you swang for the you swang?
Oh
you
my
swang?
God. I'm not gonna post this comment.
Yeah, do not post. Do not even say what Michael said. Guys, if you're watching, that's thank you, Michael. TMI for Michael. Wonderful. Okay, you swang for the fence of swang. I said swang again. What is the past tense of swing? Swung. You swung for the fences. You swung for the fences. I didn't swing for the fences. Yeah. No, the proton pack from Ghostbusters.
Yes.
I bet you'll never slime somebody with a positron glider on them. Yeah, I mean, do I really have to go into the details of a proton pack? We were talking about this beforehand. It's kind of a little bit like with Batman. Like Ghostbusters have so many cool gadgets, like because they're just dudes that are catching ghosts. So you need gadgets to catch ghosts. You need a containment unit. You need traps. You need a PKE meter. But to me, the quintessential Ghostbuster visual cue and gadget. And I think I just watched Afterlife too, and I think it's interesting that I don't think it was really detailed well in the films, the first two films, anyways. But it's detailed in Afterlife. Like Egon built the proton packs, like he made them. So I think it kind of like ticks off all of our boxes as far as that goes. It's either that or the trap saying Andre ghost traps are cool too. Yep. Rob was saying in the pre-show.
That's what I
Rob
say.
Was like the trap. He thinks, but I think my point to that was if I cosplay a Ghostbuster and I walk in with just the suit on and a trap versus me with the suit on and just a proton pack, I think the proton pack is the more like visually, like you're like, oh, that's from Ghostbusters, right?
I would agree. I agree, and I'm not gonna put a stake on the trap, but when we thought about Ghostbusters, the trap was the first thing that came to my mind.
It was, that's interesting.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that because when you look at lists online, a lot of people put the Ghostbusters ghost trap on their list, but they don't put the proton pack. But for me, again, it also has to be the proton pack.
Oh, like, yeah. Every list I looked up, every single one of them has the proton beam pack.
Before you can
they do, yeah.
Trap, right?
It's hard to argue.
Or they've got them together, right?
Yeah. So. To me, it's just another, I agree with you, first of all, but it's just another gun, right? It could be a freeze gun. It could be like any kind of a gun, all the other types of guns, right? That's what made the only reason I would say it's not as unique as the gadget because it's just a gun that gets ghosts.
But collaborated everybody Groot there saying the pack is better looking, etc., and cooler, but the Muon trap is a cooler gadget.
What's the Muon trap? Is that what they build at the end of Afterlife? Like the multi-trap they build at the end of Afterlife to catch Gozer? Is that what that is?
It's actually, well, apparently it's the name, one of the names for it. That person is a bigger Ghostbusters fan than we are, apparently.
Oh, okay. Well, that person is our buddy Groot.
I missed the comment.
And that's what they call the ghost trap or Muon trap. Interesting. I didn't know that either. Either way, I still think that for me, it has to be the proton pack. I mean, it's way more recognizable than anything else. I also think that goes at number 2.
I would agree. Paying attention there, Jeff?
Yep. Totally not checking up on the hockey game. Shut up.
It's funny. Wednesday night is Leafs night. I guess Thursday night is Boston's night. It is Bruins night, right?
Yeah, right now it is. Yeah, absolutely. We're up.
I feel like they play a lot on Thursday nights, and the Leafs usually play on Wednesday night. So anyway, number 2,
top 5 of the list. Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
You hate the whole top 5?
I do. I would not have the top 5 in that order if it was my personal list, but number 2 for the proton pack for sure.
Well, again, I mean, you decided this order pretty much. I mean, what's going on?
What do you? I didn't decide shit.
Like,
are we missing something that you want on there?
No.
You just don't like the order.
No, I just don't like anything. Just one of those guys. You guys, that was my pick. So whose pick is it now? I believe it's
Jeff's
Rob.
just being a grumpy old man here, guys. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's normal. He does this sometimes.
Ogres are like onions.
Rob, I believe it is your turn.
Michael took all the wind out of the room. That's my problem.
I've got so many that I think are fun ones, but I don't think they're going to make the top 10. Can we save some time for those at the end? I'm sure everybody's got some.
Like honorable mention ones?
Honorable mentions.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna go with another popular one, the web shooter.
Yeah, that was on my list
web
too.
Shooter. Yeah.
Which we almost didn't get.
We can't.
Why?
Because we have Iron Man's armor.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Or are we saying from the whole genre?
Well, I mean, Marvel is Marvel, right?
I mean, we did say franchise earlier, so yeah.
I mean, I love the pick. It would absolutely be high on the list, but if we break that, we got to break it all, right?
I mean, would it be higher than Iron Man's armor on here?
It would replace Iron Man's. Well, Sony owns Spider-Man. You're right, but now he actually appears in MCU movies. So, in fact, all three of them appeared in an MCU movie. So.
Yeah, but I think there's a case to be made that Amazing Spider-Man is even though it has now appeared in the MCU. Does that really count as MCU?
When we were doing the quotes, it did.
Really?
Yep. Because we already had "I am Iron Man" as a quote, and people wanted "with great power comes great responsibility," and we said we can't do that because we've already got a Marvel quote.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, we sure did.
Do we want to replace Iron Man's armor with it, or do we want to leave it as it is?
It would certainly solve the issue with us debating whether Iron Man's armor is a gadget or not, because the web shooters are clearly a gadget. I don't know how you could even argue.
Way more gadgety.
Super gadgety.
But I don't think Spider-Man web shooters would go at 3. That's my problem with that, right?
Well, I don't think Iron Man's armor should be at 3 personally, but
neither do I. Neither do I.
Well, then why the fuck is it at 3? If we don't agree, why is it at 3?
I don't know, because that's how it's been set up. When we asked where do we want it, it stayed up there, right?
Why am I here?
Says the guy wearing a Shrek hat.
You're damn right.
I mean, let's put it this way: if the Spider-Man web shooters would be lower on the list than Iron Man's armor, doesn't that by default mean that Iron Man's armor should be on the list and not the web shooters?
I didn't hear anything you just said. Can you say that again? I'm not being an asshole. I literally did not absorb anything you just said.
All right.
I was reading the chat. I'm sorry.
So Iron Man is at 3.
Yes.
If we say we're going to replace it with the Spider-Man web shooters,
right?
Where would the Spider-Man web shooters go on that list that we have right now?
Yeah, it would definitely go lower than Iron Man.
6.
Right. So doesn't that mean that by default then, since Iron Man is still at number 3, wouldn't that make Iron Man by default the Marvel gadget?
Didn't we all just agree that Iron Man probably shouldn't be at number 3 though?
Well, you're right. He probably shouldn't be, but I mean, somehow he still is.
Well, he doesn't have to be.
Well, that's also
true. If he's a gadget,
it's our list. Why are we getting all
a gadget and he belongs on the list, then he deserves to be at number 3 above the rest of those.
Mm-hmm.
See, remember when I said earlier that I thought this was going to be a shit show? Mm-hmm. This is what I'm talking about. By the way. This is the shit show I was referring to.
Yeah. And I'll be 100% honest. I had picked from the MCU Spider-Man web shooters. That's what I have on my list. I didn't pick
Eric Adam makes a good point. Web shooters passed the Robbie's grandma test.
That too.
Yeah.
Robbie's grandma knows.
I can't believe we almost didn't get friggin' web shooters with the go web go. Like, holy fuck, man. I
in the Raimi
had a really hard time with that movie. Well, that series of movies because of that one fact. For me, the web shooters are a synonym of Spider-Man because it's always how he gets into trouble. He runs out of web and all of a sudden he's getting his ass kicked. And now he has to think on his feet to get out of the problem. right?
Well, plus it really highlights what a genius level intellect he has. Like he
100%.
makes them from scratch by himself at the age of like fucking 15 or whatever, right? So
all right. Sorry, what?
So where does it go on the list?
Iron Man, what? Who?
Iron who?
Where'd Iron Man go?
All right. Iron what?
He's gone. Didn't he retire? Fuck Tony Stark. We're not doing that shit. Billionaire, playboy, philanthropist.
Yeah, Megan says also the armor really isn't a gadget. It holds the gadgets in the suit. Yeah, and that's gonna part of what the point was. And he's also a mode of transportation. There you go. Iron Man's vehicle. So
fine. Where does web shooters go? I would suggest it would be on that list. If I'm looking at it right there, it's either 4 or 5.
Yeah, I agree.
It's either above Batarang or below Batarang.
I agree. I would only put it below the Batarang because Batman is probably the more popular franchise overall.
Have you been to a Comic-Con?
I've dressed as both of those guys, and I can tell you, I get mobbed way more as Spider-Man than I do as Batarang. But I do as Batman, but yeah, I do
numbers,
not, in fact, dress up as
the comic book sales numbers don't say the same. But
funny as that would be, but no, I agree. But we're talking like overall cultural impact. It's
for sure.
We are talking about movies too. Yeah,
for sure.
I don't think if we're talking about movies, then the Batarang might be up there a little bit higher because they've been making more and longer Batman movies than they've been making Spider-Man movies, right? So,
and in 3 of those Spider-Man movies, you didn't have web shooters. So
I think we're probably going to get released if we don't put it 4. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I would put it at 4. I was going to say what these movies are representing the whole franchise or the universe, right? So now we're talking about MCU over the shit show that has been the DC.
Right. But I mean, we're not talking about the DCEU. Like they had a movie in 1989 called Batman that had a Batarang in it, right? So that was
I was 8.
A very culturally significant film. So
yeah.
Put it at 4. We already agreed on that.
4 is fine. I don't know whose suggestion was this, by the way. Was this like the chat suggested?
No, that was Rob.
No, I think that was mine.
Oh, that was you? Yeah, Megan. See, I agree with you, Meg Han. I do not agree with Megan. I agree with Meg Han. Tony Stark made that suit. It's a whole ass gadget. I agree. Spider-Man is better. Yep, I said it. Says Groot. Of course you said the Marvel guy's better, Groot. Duh.
I'm gonna. You know what? The last 4 on my list have already been discussed in the chat, so I kind of want to keep them a little bit. And I'm going to throw a wild one out there that may not make the list at all. What do you guys think about the Tron Identity discs?
I loved both films, and I don't think they belong on the list. They'd be like an honorable mention.
You know, like I was saying, I don't think they're going to make the list, but...
Yeah. I agree with that. I love the films, but
the Tron Identity discs. It's like their core programming, basically. They carry around with them when they're in the game.
Add that to something I want to 3D print now.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do a Tron costume. I just don't, have the body type for a Tron costume, unfortunately. What can I say? Okay. So my actual pick then is going to be the ZF1 from Fifth Element, which is kind of the do-it-all gun. There goes Rob Googling it.
ZF. Oh yeah, that.
Dennis says, I think Tron is kind of niche. I mean, it kind of is.
Yeah.
So is this?
Sorry, who said that? It's going by too fast. Ali says men can wear corsets to JS. I mean, you're right. I don't have a corset, so
What the fuck are you guys talking?
Steve says,
"No, I know.
JS. Any body type can play the game Tron, so there is no ideal body type for that. I mean, you're 100% right. What I meant is, I don't have the body type to be wearing a straight spandex suit. Clear that up. Okay.
No, never done that before.
Well, not just a spandex. No, I'll wear a spandex suit with armor on top. I'm not going to wear just a full-blown spandex suit. Yeah, no thanks. Tennis has a cloak of invisibility. We had this discussion at the top of the show, or did we talk about it at the top of the show? Or did
we definitely talked about it on the pre-show for sure, like on Instagram. But I think we all kind of agreed that that's more of an artifact, much like a Thor's hammer. It's like a nobody really it's not a mechanical device that somebody made in a shop type of thing, like a lot of these other ones would be. So the time turner though is interesting. I know that is also a magical item. But it does feel mechanical. So, I mean, I could get behind the time turner. Unfortunately, my fellow ogres here are not Harry Potter enthusiasts. So
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
It looks like a rip-off
gadget
of the
in Harry
Time
Potter.
Stone.
Yeah, it's one gadget from one film that sort of they never used again because it kind of broke. It had the potential to break everything. It's literally like a little time travel device that they use in one movie, the best movie, by the way, of Harry Potter. But
I'm assuming to turn time back.
It's never even mentioned again after that film. Like it's never even referenced. So it is a magical gadget. I would probably give you that. Aren't all the gadgets in HP just magical artifacts? And yes, Alan. And that's kind of where we're debating.
Yeah.
Is that the time turner would probably be the closest to an actual gadget because there is like a mechanical component to it. And it does actually, it even looks like something that somebody made, right? It's not like just here's a cloak and now we've cast a spell at it and now that cloak turns you invisible. It's not quite like that. And it's not the wands and all that jazz. Like the time turner is like they have to literally manipulate the thing with their hands to make it do what they want it to do. Where does the Indiana Jones Dial of Destiny fit on this list? Brian, it doesn't. Not. Yeah, it's a MacGuffin. It's absolutely a MacGuffin, Andrew. Yes, there's no question that it's a MacGuffin, but is it a gadget?
I will be 100% honest and say that I've still yet to see Dial of Destiny.
It's better than Crystal Skull, but that's like saying it's wetter than the desert, right? Like it's just not. It's not the first three films. It's just better than that abomination that was the fourth film. So
yeah.
No slight to those that worked on it. I'm sure they worked very hard. It's just not a good movie. So
yeah, no, not at all. All right, whose turn is it? It would be Jeff's turn.
Is it my turn? I don't know if I had anything left. I'm not going to lie to you. That might have been everything I had because everything else is like just a play on other shit, right?
Well, I got one more that was mentioned earlier. Rob, do you have anything else?
I got a couple, but they probably fall into the honorable mentions category.
Yeah.
There is one that was mentioned in the comments earlier, the Shrink Ray from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
From Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, yeah.
That's a dope gadget.
Or Ice Voice, we love you. We have already had a discussion on having to replace one Marvel thing with another Marvel thing. We're not going to replace web shooters with Wakandan tech bracelet. I know you've been humping on this the whole podcast. I'm sorry that we've been ignoring you. That hasn't been on purpose. It's just we've already got two different Marvel things that we already said we'd only do one. So
the Shrink Ray. Yeah, I don't think the Shrink Ray makes the lists, unfortunately.
No. The other one that's not going to make the list, but I thought was a pretty cool gadget was the original Home Alone when Kevin is simulating a party going on in the house and he's got the strings and he's dancing to the song. He's making a whole party. That was a pretty cool gadget, right?
Yeah.
What about a jetpack?
Yeah, I thought about the James Bond jetpack earlier as well. That was on my list.
Thing. There's been so many different jetpacks across so many different things, but I guess that's another one of those things where it's just like,
is it a vehicle?
It's a vehicle. Yes, I'm sure it's a vehicle. Ice Voice. I just wanted to acknowledge. We acknowledged.
And again, jetpacks. I mean, they actually exist, right?
They do.
I mean, you would have to have a lot of money. But you can technically go out and buy a jetpack and fly around
theoretically, you could make a batarang too, and you could put an ejector seat in a car as well. Like there's some of these things could actually exist, but yeah, the Rocketeer jetpack. Yeah, I think jetpack in general, but I don't know that it would crack the top.
The only other one that sorry,
no, you go.
You're gonna say
the only other one that I have that I think might break the top 10 is, and I think. Not Possible mentioned that earlier. The shoe phone from Get Smart. Again, there was a trope of the original Get Smart movies, and it was used in the newer Get Smart with what's his name from The Office?
Steve Carell.
Steve Carell. But again, does that beat out The Mask Maker from Mission Impossible? Like, that's still in our top 10. Can you believe that? That was my first pick. A oddball pick, and that's still top 10.
It sure is.
The cone of silence.
It's super not if we allowed multiple things from different. The shoe phone's great. I just think it's a little niche and it's a little dated, right? Like there's a whole generation that has no fucking idea what you're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Right. Probably every Zoomer and half the millennials have zero clue what you're referencing. So
probably
the big jump shoes from Free Guy. I don't even know what that is. I know what Free Guy is, but I don't remember the big jump shoes.
Me neither.
The only thing I remember from that movie, gadget-wise, is when he breaks out Captain America's shield and Chris Evans goes, "What the shit?" Which, by the way, we could have said Captain America's shield too, because technically that was a gadget.
I mean, that is a gadget.
Didn't really do anything, but
I mean, technically,
yeah.
The other one that was big, I don't think it's going to make the list, but the neural interface from the Matrix.
Yeah,
that gadget.
I know Kung Fu.
I guess so. Yeah, fair enough.
Show me.
Best.
I mean,
one of my favorite scenes in the history of movies.
100%. That whole movie is one of my favorite scenes in the history of movies.
Yeah.
Especially the first one. After the first one, it all went downhill. But
I still love the second one. The third one's a tough watch for sure.
Yeah.
I still liked it, but I get it.
The second one was okay. But the third one was just too much.
And the last one, we just don't acknowledge its existence.
Sorry, the what?
The most recent one? Was that 3 or was that 4?
That's
4? What 4? There's not 4 Matrix movies. What are you talking about?
You're right. There's only 3. And
there's only 3 Matrix
made
movies
recently.
Yeah. Yeah. Really, there's only 2, but that's okay.
The Dream Machine from Inception.
Yeah, that's also another good one. I actually saw that one on a couple of lists as well. I don't think that one was very gadgety. It also wasn't as culturally impactful as some of the other.
It would be on par with the Mask Maker for sure. It's extraordinarily gadgety. It's literally a machine that they plug into and someone hits a fucking button to make it work. It's 100% a gadget.
Yeah, fair enough.
100% a gadget. But the only thing it would replace on that list would be the Mask Maker. And I think as far as like Mission Impossible versus Inception goes, it's probably, I think we probably still stay with Mask Maker.
I mean, there's like 14 Mission Impossible movies, right? So
yeah,
it gets used multiple times.
It pains me to agree with you, but I have to agree with you.
Yeah.
I think that might be it, man. Like that's a great suggestion, but that's
now again, guys, you got to remember this is our top 10 lists when we're only picking one specific item from a franchise, right?
Right.
We didn't want this to end up with a Batman list or a Mission Impossible list or a James Bond list or whatnot,
or a
right?
Ghostbuster list or a Star Wars list.
Maybe that's another top 10 we can do at some point, is we can go into top 10 MCU gadgets or who knows. But wow, this is not exactly the list I thought we were going to end up with. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I didn't think we would end up with this either, but we're sort of struggling to.
We're not coming up.
I didn't think any of these were going to make the list. Well, Neuralizer, yes. From 7 to 10,
called from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy that makes what you crave. Well, it's basically just a replicator from Star Trek, right? Even though Arthur Dent makes a point that it makes something that is almost, but not quite, entirely unlike T that he asked for. So it's not very good at what it does anyways in the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy franchise. So Power Rangers transformation belt or communicator. I haven't seen the film, so I don't know. I don't even know. There's only one real movie, right?
Well, there's one. Well, no, there's a number of movies.
Like theatrically, really like movies?
I think there were a couple of the like shows that spawned some theatrical release movies, especially overseas.
Okay.
But there was one American-made blockbuster.
Well, I bought
which I actually enjoyed. I thought it was actually pretty good. I was not a Power Rangers fan at all. I was too old for the Power Rangers. They came out after me.
Please?
How do we kick him from the chat?
Oh my God! Here we go.
Alan dropping some goodies here. Kong's Gauntlet from GXK. Wait.
Well.
Uh-oh.
How about you want to tell us a little bit more about that gauntlet, Alan?
Yeah, you want to go into some really intricate details, Alan, about that?
Like I said, we're gonna have Alan back when the movie comes out. Like I said, Alan, if you're able to come the Thursday after the movie comes out, we'll make a point to go see it so we can actually talk about it, because pretty excited for this one.
Yeah, my son digs that whole franchise, so he and I will absolutely go. Kingsman umbrella stun gun. I did look at this. That umbrella is wicked as shit. It's also got a camera on it. Everything else.
Yeah, the Kingsman umbrella.
Again, on par with the mask maker, it would definitely be, and it's the way cooler gadget of those two gadgets for fucking sure. But I don't know that it would necessarily replace the mask maker for me, anyways. That wasn't me. I've been hacked. Oh, okay, Alan. All right.
Yeah, Kingsman had some good gadgets.
No NDAs were broken during the course of this podcast. This podcast is not responsible for any NDAs that Alan had. That's I don't know, dude. Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
Do you want to review the list for the people that are listening online and maybe not seeing this gorgeous list with us here right now?
If you're listening at home, number 1 is a lightsaber. Number 2 is the from Star Wars. Number 2 is the proton pack from Ghostbusters. Number 3 is the transporter from Star Trek. Number 4 is the web shooters from our boy Spider-Man and the Marvel Cinematic Universe, just Marvel in general. Number 5 is the Batarang from DC. Number 6 is the Neuralizer from Men in Black. Number 7 is the ejector seat from Bond and about a million other things. Number 8 is the hoverboard from Back to the Future. Justice for Biff. Number 9 is Biomask from the Predator franchise. Number 10 is the mask maker from Mission Impossible. Megan Avery saying justice for Iron Man. There can be only one. Sorry, man. There can be only one. And in this case, the only one is the web shooters, not Iron Man. So hard to argue with that. I think it's a pretty
made it on this list again.
Solid list. Oh yeah, that hoverboard just took the world by storm. Like that's people still talk about that hoverboard. People still want a hoverboard. So
yeah, one day there will be a hoverboard.
One day. Yeah, it is funny watching people go back because I watched both. I watched Back to the Future and Back to the Future 2 today, and it's interesting to see what they thought 2015 was going to look like. Hilariously enough, way back in 1989, and then how many of those things have actually come about?
Just the shoes.
Yeah,
they did remake the shoes.
They did remake the shoes.
Yeah, which are pretty cool.
The oscillation overthruster from Buckaroo Banzai. It's a deep cut, Keith, but I like it. Remember, no matter where you go, there you are. Any updates on TCC? JS, any updates on TCC?
Fortunately not. Not sure what to do at this point. I would love to be able to tell you guys, this is what's going on, and we're in, and here's where our booth is, and fortunately we don't know. And I found out that we're not the only ones that don't know, because apparently the people in Artist Alley also don't know. Whether there's actually going to be an Artist Alley or not, I don't know. I would assume there is. But apparently those people still have no clue about what's going on either. Crystal says that's so annoying. I mean, it is when you're trying to plan a booth, right? I mean, we're always last minute, which means we can always only do whatever we already have. We can never plan ahead of time because they'll never give us a confirmation ahead of time of what's going on. The one time they told us ahead of time that we were in, they stuffed us in a basement where nobody knew where we were. So, it's like there's no winning at this point, right? So it's just frustrating. And I'm not trying to talk shit about those guys because I know that they have a ton of shows going on every year. There's a lot of stuff going on. I know they're constantly short-staffed. But, when you're trying to put on a show for their paying customers, right? We're putting on a show for free for their paying customers. We're giving them something that those people can do that they don't have to spend extra money for. Because when you go in there, you pay money to go in, And then you got to pay money to go to get a signature. And then you're paying to buy stuff at the vendor table. And then you're paying to buy stuff at all you're doing is spending money. We offer something just like all the other community partners. We offer something for free for those congoers. And we're always last minute. We can never plan ahead of time. So we can never plan to do more. So it's frustrating in that sense. So Ali says, is it under new management? As far as I know, management changed a couple years ago. And it hasn't changed again. Well, I say it hasn't changed again. There seems to be a bit of turnover there. But no, I don't believe it's under new management again. Andre saying guest list is looking sparse. Yeah, they have 6 guests announced on their website so far. 4 of them are from Star Wars.
They just announced someone today.
Oh, did they really?
Maybe it wasn't today. I know they announced Tom Cavanaugh from The Flash. I thought there was someone that came out
today. I didn't see that. I was on their website Tom yesterday.
Cavanaugh. Your best bet, by the way, in a lot of cases is not the website, but probably the social media side of it. It's a little bit more. I think that's where they announced first.
Yeah, fair enough. They do have 8 people there now.
Yes, Dennis Lawson.
Yeah,
who played
Star Wars.
From Star Wars, and then Mary McDonnell, who was on Battlestar Galactica, and now Tom Cavanaugh. So
and then 2 people from What We Do in the Shadows that I've never actually seen. Somebody from One Piece, and then we've got 2 people from Ahsoka. Yeah, so there's not a lot going on as far as announcement from those guys. Like even their guest list is still kind of up in the air at this point. So it sucks. I wish we could say, hey, this is what we're doing. These are our themes that we're going to be doing every day and blah, blah, blah. But
I did have a couple of messages to ask me, like, where are you guys going to be or what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. And the key is, are you still going? And I know for sure that some of us are absolutely still going to go. Well, if we don't get a booth, will the entire team arrive for the entire weekend? Absolutely not. So if we get the booth, that's a different story. But if we don't, that is going to massage who actually shows and what we're doing. Rest assured, we are still going to at least try to get media passes so that we are still going to be doing like lives and podcasts and all that kind of shit. But you're probably going to see a much smaller group of geeks that are going to show up and descend on that. And we'll go from there. So what is Alan Henry coughing about? I was like, Alan, are you okay? I'm concerned. You should be a guest, sir. And if not for this one, definitely for Fan Expo. Fan Expo is the better one to be a guest at for sure.
But 100%.
Yeah. Niagara Falls Comic Con is bringing in some better guests. Yeah. Niagara Falls is definitely like killing it right now. Their guest announcements have been. Really
there's a lot of people that are going to be at Niagara Falls. I mean, it's really making me want to go.
Yep. I go every year and I just get drunk the whole time and it's wonderful. I do recommend.
Is the hall where they do the con, is it licensed?
Yeah, the entirety of the place is licensed at Niagara Falls. So the whole venue is licensed. So yeah, they even built a patio last year where you could step outside the con and sit on a patio, and that's licensed as well. So
nice.
Yeah, it's and again, and like I've said a million times, and then you're in Niagara Falls, right? So it's a tourist town, so there's still a bunch of stuff to do outside the con as well. Like even if you didn't want to have to spend all day at the con, you spend a half day there, then you go out and experience Niagara Falls, especially if you haven't been.
Well, that's the thing, right? And if you're spending the weekend there, I mean, it's one thing you can do the con, but then there's also the nightlife in Niagara Falls.
The falls, Clifton Hill, the casino. I mean, there's a bunch of things to do there. There's tours, there's walkthroughs. Get on the Maid of the Mist like a psychopath. There's a helicopter tour. There's zip lines. There's so many things to do there. So
Kelly's saying there's go-karts.
Yeah, the big huge go-kart thing.
Yeah, Mario Kart style go-karts.
Yep.
There's
water parks.
A water park, yeah.
They have one of the biggest arcades I've ever seen.
I want to do the Mario Kart go-karting so bad.
Yeah, it looks fun. It looks fun. We were there last summer for Ian's birthday. One of our buddies on the street here. And we went out on Clifton Hill at night and we were seeing people in the go-karts, and that looks a lot of fun. And it's like a multi-level go-kart track. It's like a parking garage, basically. It looks amazing. Tana says Niagara Comic-Con, Niagara Falls Comic-Con rocks. Yeah, I mean, sounds like it's a fun time. We've never actually been. Yeah, we got to wrap it up right now. It's 20 past 8. The old man's got to go. We're starting to lose viewers right now because we're just rambling on like old fools. To answer the question, we really don't know what's going on. The only thing that we know for a fact is going to happen at this point is London Comic-Con. Everything else, whether it be Star Wars Day, whether it be any other event that we're going to do or cons, we're still kind of working everything out. So as soon as we know more, guys, we'll let you know. Hopefully we're not too late to let you know what our theme days are, and you can join in on our themes and our meetups. Yeah.
Alan, March 15th through 17th are the dates for Toronto Comic-Con.
Yes.
Same venue as where they hold Fan Expo Canada. It's just half the venue, so it's about half the size. Yeah.
Well, it's one of two buildings. Where's Fan Expo is both buildings?
Asking about that one, or is he asking about London?
Yeah. Oh, London Comic-Con is September 7th, 8th, 9th.
Oh, Niagara Falls is June. Yes, early June.
Second weekend-ish.
Yeah. Like 7th through the 9th, I think, for Niagara Falls. Something like that.
London Comic-Con 2024. That one is...
I don't think they have dates for it yet.
Yeah, there's no dates for it yet.
Yeah.
There is. Again, don't go to the website. Go to the Instagram.
Yeah, I'll have to go check that out. And then the other one we were talking about is Fan Expo. That one is usually the last weekend of August.
London, Ontario, September 14th and 15th, 2024.
There you go.
That's for London Comic-Con.
It's Niagara Falls that is June 7th, 8th, and 9th. There you go.
We went through Niagara after the Northern. It was awesome. Yeah, Niagara Falls is a fun con. It really is. Like it's... Like I said, again, you're in a tourist town. June 7th through the 9th. That was right. 2024.
Yeah, Niagara is an amazing spot to go hang out, period, right? You want to take a couple days and go hang out, especially for us because it's so close. Yeah, it's fantastic. I love going
good time. Again, it's just a weekend of debauchery for us, but it's a fun weekend. So I highly encourage. For sure.
Guys, anything else you want to add? Again, I don't think we really have anything much in the books for now, but anything you want to mention, talk about, pitch, or otherwise before we go?
I want to see more of what Rob's working on. You got me curious now too. So let's see some more updates from Roberto the bad guy. Look at that stilt. Nice.
That's a stilt that I'm working on.
It's like a weird 1-foot chair.
Kinda.
A chair, but you can only put 1 foot on it. That's how you use this chair.
Kinda.
I can't wait to see what you guys come up with for all this kind of stuff. So
I'm
also
his solution should work well. It should be very strong, and it should be very light. So
strong and light is.
And I've only fallen once so far.
That's what scares me. Like I'm gonna break myself, man. Like I know we've been saying we're gonna do this for years now, but oof.
We waited too long.
Can you imagine, like you fall at friggin' Fan Expo and you break something, and then you had a commission for months and hip surgery.
I thought about that. Yeah. Well, I'll be wearing a nice big thick bunch of foam, right?
Well, that's the saving grace, right? We're gonna be covered in foam, so yeah.
And you guys are planning that for FanX, right?
Well,
Sweet Vix, I'll let my agent know.
No promise.
I hope we see you there, brother. I hope we see you there.
Hopefully, buddy, that'd be amazing. No, I don't think this is one project that I think we're gonna take our time with and is gonna be done when it's done. Right?
Maybe in time for Toronto Comic-Con. No, I'm kidding.
You're gonna have this done in 5 weeks, are you? All right, cool.
Yeah.
Please show your work.
No.
Oh, look at that. I already built a leg.
Well, a prototype leg anyway.
No, the whole thing's cardboard. It's great.
It's gonna be all just spray paint on there.
Funny enough, I was watching one guy that was showing off his build, and his whole original build was all cardboard, and it looked amazing. So yeah,
I've seen some cool cardboard stuff, but time to wrap it up.
Yeah. All right, guys. I think that will be it, right? Yeah, that's it. We're done. I think we're done. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Stay tuned, guys, so you can see the list online, and then go back and listen to this afterwards, so you can get just as mad as the rest of us did when we were putting this list together.
There you go. Here's the list one more time. Number 1, lightsaber. Number 2, proton pack. Number 3, the transporters from Star Trek. Number 4, Spider-Man's web shooters. Number 5, Batman's batarang. And number 6, the neuralizer from Men in Black. Number 7, ejectocito, because the ejector seat from James Bond, or the ejector seat from Fast and the Furious, or Too Fast, Too Furious, whatever you want to see. The hoverboard from Back to the Future. Number 9, the biomasks from Predator. And number 10, the mask maker from Mission Impossible. All 14 of them. I think that's going to have to be it, though, for tonight, guys. I think we've rambled long enough. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure you stay geeky. We'll see you next week. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Geek Boutique Podcast. Like always, if you prefer to listen to us, you can find us on all major podcast platforms. Now, make sure you don't forget to click that like and subscribe button, as well as the notification bell to make sure you never miss an episode.